On a warm summer day in 2014, families flocked to Schlitterbahn Amusement Park in Kansas City to experience the newest addition to the park, Verrückt, the world's tallest water slide. Named after the German word for insane, the slide stood an imposing 17 stories tall and promised a thrill ride like no other. The steep 60-degree drop, combined with speeds reaching nearly 70 miles per hour, made Verrückt an instant hit with thrill seekers. However, what was meant to be a day of fun and excitement quickly turned into a day of tragedy when a horrific accident occurred on the ride. The event shook the community and cast a shadow over the park for years to come. Even now, years later, the memory of that day continues to linger in the community hopes that they will finally be able to find closure and move forward. I've been posting lots of interesting and informative videos about roller coaster disasters on my channel. If you're interested in learning more about this subject, please subscribe to my channel. For 2 years, Verrückt at Schlitterbahn Amusement Park in Kansas City attracted adrenaline junkies from all over, eager to experience the thrill of the world's tallest water slide. But on August 7, 2016, the excitement of the ride turned to tragedy when 10-year-old Caleb Schwab, the son of a former Kansas state legislator, was killed while riding Verrückt. The accident occurred when the raft Caleb was in went airborne at the crest of the second hill and struck a support beam. The loss of a young life sent shockwaves throughout the community, and the safety and design of the ride were immediately called into question. As details of the tragedy began to emerge, a clip from a pre-opening episode of the Travel Channel show Extreme Water Parks began to circulate, showing test runs of the slide in which rafts filled with sandbags went airborne. Despite efforts to improve the safety of the ride, including the addition of safety netting, the park and its owners faced intense scrutiny from the public and authorities. According to one family who had a similar scare just weeks before the fatal accident, the slide was not foolproof and still posed a danger to riders. The tragic death of Caleb Schwab and the subsequent investigation into the safety of Verrückt left a lasting impact on the community and on the amusement park industry as a whole. It serves as a reminder of the importance of putting safety first, even in the pursuit of thrills and excitement. 3 days after the tragic death of 10-year-old Caleb Schwab, Schlitterbahn Amusement Park in Kansas City reopened for business, but the Verrückt water slide, the site of the tragedy, remained closed for the remainder of the season. In response to the tragic event, the authorities launched a criminal investigation into the circumstances surrounding Caleb's death. In March 2018, the co-owner of the park, Jeff Henry, and the designer of the Verrückt slide, John Shirley, were charged with second-degree murder, bringing the case to the forefront of public attention and sparking a heated debate about the responsibility of amusement park owners and operators for ensuring the safety of their patrons. The charges against Henry and Shirley marked a turning point in the aftermath of Caleb's death, as the community demanded accountability and action to prevent similar tragedies in the future. In the aftermath of the tragedy on Verrückt water slide at Schlitterbahn Amusement Park, the park's operations director, Tyler Miles, was charged with involuntary manslaughter. The indictment highlighted several key factors that contributed to the tragedy, including the lack of technical and engineering credentials held by Jeffrey Henry, the designer and visionary behind Verrückt. Despite dropping out of high school, Henry had a significant influence over key decisions related to the construction of Verrückt, which, according to the indictment, ultimately contributed to the tragedy. The charges against Miles and the revelations about Henry's background cast a harsh light on the practices of the amusement park industry and raised important questions about the responsibility of park operators and designers in ensuring the safety of patrons. As the investigation into the tragedy on Verrückt water slide at Schlitterbahn Amusement Park continued, 2 other employees, John Saltzman and David Hughes, were charged with obstruction of justice. Prosecutors claimed that the 2 maintenance workers may have provided false information to investigators. However, in October 2018, the 2 men were found not guilty of the charges. In February 2019, the charges against Jeff Henry, John Shuley and Tyler Miles, were dropped by the judge, who ruled that the grand jury was presented with improper evidence that could have influenced their decision-making. This included a video from the Travel Channel, which was deemed to be dramatized and produced for television, and thus not admissible as legal evidence in court. The dropped charges marked a significant turning point in the legal proceedings surrounding the tragedy on Verrückt waterslide, as the community continued to seek answers and accountability for the loss of life on that fateful day. Caleb Schwab, the 10-year-old victim of the tragedy on Verrückt waterslide at Schlitterbahn Amusement Park, is remembered as a vibrant and caring child whose faith continues to inspire those who knew him. In honor of his memory, those who attended his funeral were asked to wear orange, Caleb's favorite color. In 2018, Verrückt was finally dismantled and removed from the park. 3 years after Caleb's death in 2019, Schlitterbahn Amusement Park in Kansas City did not open for the summer season. The future of the park remains uncertain, with reports suggesting that it will remain closed indefinitely. The closure of the park serves as a painful reminder of the tragedy that occurred on Verrückt and the lasting impact it has had on the community. Nevertheless, Caleb's legacy lives on, inspiring others with his kindness, faith, and energy, and reminding us all of the importance of safety and responsibility in amusement parks. The tragic accident at Schlitterbahn Amusement Park in Kansas City had a profound impact on the state of Kansas. According to a local reporter, it served as a wake-up call to many who were unaware that there was no federal regulation for amusement rides. In response, the state of Kansas strengthened its regulations and established the Kansas Amusement Ride Act, which requires rides to be inspected and certified by qualified inspectors. However, in 2018, some regulations were relaxed for temporary amusement rides, leading some to believe that the state was taking one step forward and one step back in terms of ride safety. The accident at Schlitterbahn serves as a reminder of the importance of proper regulations and inspection procedures to ensure the safety of those who enjoy amusement park rides. The closure of Verrückt, the world-famous waterslide at Schlitterbahn Amusement Park, was a result of a tragic accident that took place on August 7, 2016. The ride claimed the life of 10-year-old Caleb Schwab, and it took 2 years for the park to finally demolish the structure. This was due to the fact that the Attorney General of Kansas had ordered the slide to remain intact as evidence in a criminal case. The case aimed to prosecute those responsible for Caleb's death. However, it eventually fell apart. The future of the park and those responsible remains uncertain, with the possibility of a future indictment or grand jury. Meanwhile, Schlitterbahn continues to operate and market themselves as a wild and crazy park with a family-owned business model that is hugely popular in Texas. To honor Caleb's memory, the Schwab family established the Can I Go Play Foundation to provide club sports scholarships for kids in need. Through the foundation, they aim to give other children the opportunity to play sports just like Caleb loved to do. The family leans on their religion and have received support from their church, which dedicated a bench in Caleb's memory. Additionally, part of the $20 million settlement from the accident will also go toward the foundation. After the tragedy of Caleb's death, the Kansas community has learned an important lesson about the safety of amusement parks. People cannot simply assume that a park is safe just because it exists. It is important to be informed and educated about the state and county laws and regulations surrounding amusement park rides. Before visiting a park, individuals should take the time to research and understand the rules and requirements that govern the safety of these attractions. By doing so, they can ensure that they are taking the necessary precautions to protect themselves and their families.